T. Clark here. In this video, we'll go over the AP Computer Science A 2026 FRQ number 1. So the scenario says, this question will involve the account class, which is used to represent a user account or many accounts for a website. Okay, so we have the account class contains the helper method is available, which determines whether a username is available. We're going to write a constructor and then method. So here we go. So we have access to username, and we're going to initialize that in part A. And then we have the constructor we're going to implement, it looks like, in part A. So that's our first thing. So let's read the comments above it. We're going to create a username based on the parameter requested name. So that's in the parentheses, requested name. If the username is unavailable, appends successive integers beginning with 1 to requested name until an available username is found, as described in part A. And then we have this helper method is available, and it just returns true if the parameter we give it is an available username or false. So true or false, is that username available? And I'm gonna ignore B altogether. I'm just gonna go to the scenario for A right here. So in part A, we're gonna write the constructor, which creates a username based on requested name, and we're going to use is available, and this is what we just read. So if requested name is an available username, the account constructor will assign it to the variable username. So we're going to assign username to something. If not, the constructor will try different variations of the requested name until an available username is found and assigned to the instance variable username. The variations are going to be, okay, so let's say Luis Cruz is the parameter. We were requesting that, and it's not available. So we say is available Luis Cruz, and it says false. And then we try Luis Cruz 1, false. Luis Cruz 2, false. Luis Cruz 3, false. And then Luis Cruz 4 works, and then we can assign it to username. And then if it is available, we'll just assign it right away. Okay, so that's it. That's all we have for A. We're going to ignore B and then just complete the constructor. I don't know why they have B in the middle of this part, but okay, whatever. It's kind of weird the way they format that. Okay, so A, I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to get a result, but I'm going to be working with the result. And I'm assuming the result is going to be the requested name. So whatever the requested name is, I'm going to assume that's the result. And at the end, I'm going to say username equals whatever the result is, because that's our goal, is to assign username to whatever value it is. So if it's PS Smith or P Smith or whatever, yeah, P Smith, and we do whatever, we don't do whatever, it'll just say username is P Smith. Or if it's Luis Cruz and we don't have a Luis Cruz yet, or just say it equals to Luis Cruz. So now we're going to say, is that result available? So I'm not going to use requested name available, I'm going to use the result. I'm going to be modifying result again and again, probably. So if is available, if it's not available, so not is available. Wait, no. I don't want to if, I want to do it as long as. So I'm going to say as long as the result is not an available username, yeah. So I'm going to change this to a while. So as long as is not available, what's not available? Result. As long as the result's not available, I'm going to be modifying result in here. I'm going to say, okay, change result to +1, +2. Oh, so I need a variable then. So I need an integer, and I'm going to call it just the end, right? Postfix, and it starts at 1. So I'm assuming a requested name with no number, and then in here I'm going to say, okay, change it to the next one. So result is changed to whatever the requested name is +1, not 1, but the postfix. And then I want to go to here I want to increment postfix to get to 2, to get to 3, to 4, and so forth. So I think that might be it. Without the comments, here we go. So again, we get set up the result to whatever the parameter is, and we have a variable ready to go. We see if it's available, and as long as it's not available. So if it is available, it skips a while loop altogether, right? Yeah, so as long as it's not available, I get the next one after it, the numerical, right? So Luis Cruz 1, then 2, then 3. Yeah, I can't just keep adding. I can't do plus equals postfix because then it'll be 1, Luis Cruz 1, Luis Cruz 1, 2, Luis Cruz 1, 2, 3. But we want to have the number, so it's whatever the original one was plus that extra number at the end, and the number increments for the next while loop. Okay, that's 1A. I think I'm done with that one. So let's look at B now. Okay, so B is get shortened name. So I'm going to go back. This isn't ready for you when you're doing the test. So I'm going to go back to the first page where it said about B. So in B, I have a string, get shortened name, and what I'm going to do. I'm going to return a shortened version of username with each hyphen and the character before it removed. Okay, so I guess the usernames have hyphens in them. And we're going to remove the one before it and the one and the hyphen. Okay, so the precondition is username does not start or end with a hyphen. Okay, so don't have to worry about that. Does not contain consecutive hyphens. Oh, that'd be weird. And at least 2. Okay, so I don't have to worry about if it's the first one, or like if it's out of bounds when I go -1, I guess. And username is unchanged. So I can't do username, so I'm going to set up a result right away, and I'm going to return that result before I forget, because if I start coding I'll forget to return it usually. So I set it up, and I'm doing this that way I don't mess with the username. So if I mess with the username, that would not be good because it tells me I can't change the username. Okay, so what does B say? Let's look at the scenario for B. In B, you're going to write that get shortened name method, which returns a shortened version. Oh, I'm out of space here. Let's get over. Just a couple words. Sorry about that. Shortened version of username with each hyphen and the character immediately before it removed. If there's no hyphens, I'm just going to return username. So again, if we don't do anything in here, the result is already the username, so it's already set up to return. Okay, so let's look at the example. So if you have Amy Marie Lynn, it returns. I'm going to do some work over here on this. Amy Marie Lynn is going to return Am Marie Lynn. So it got rid of, it found where the index, or it found the index of the hyphen, and then it got rid of the one before it, and it did that. And then it found the next hyphen, and it got rid of the one before it like that. Okay, so that's what's happening. So I have to find, so my goal is to, as long as there's hyphens, is at least one hyphen. What am I going to do? I'm going to find its spot, find the first part, which is from 0 to the index -1, I think, because we're going to get rid of the one before it as well. Like normally when I've been doing these type of problems, I go from the beginning, the substring from the beginning to index of whatever it is, like a space or whatever. So I'm finding wherever the hyphen is, and I'm going one before it. So that's the first part. So it start at 0, so it'd be AM. And then I want to find the last part, which is after the index. I think the substring after index, what is it, plus equals, just +1. Okay, and then and that's it. And then I reset result to first. Oh, I can't type today. Plus last. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about doing. So that was my example here. I'm going to get rid of this for now, well, forever, I guess. I don't need that anymore. No, actually, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to code each of these lines and get rid of that. So as long as there's a hyphen. So I'll code that while I'm using result again, dot index of. Again, index of gives me that index. And if it's not there, I mean, if it is there, that means it's greater than or equal to 0. I think I don't even need the equal to, because the precondition says, what do the preconditions say? Oh, it's up here. It does not start with a hyphen, so I don't have to worry about the equal to, but that's just how I normally do it. If the equal to is there, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm saying as long as there's a hyphen in the result, that's the string I'm working with, find its spot. So the index equals just result dot index of whatever. I guess I could be more elegant with that, but whatever. I found its spot or its index, and there we go. Okay, now I want to find the first part. So the first part's going to be a string. This is all string stuff. So first part equals result. I'm still working on result. Substring 0 up until index -1, right? I want to get rid of the word or the character before the hyphen. And what's that period doing there? There should be a comma. Okay, so I got that done. Now I want to find the last part, which is also a string. And we're still on result, dot substring. Everything after the index, so just I plus 1. Yeah, I think that's what I do for the last part. So I have my two parts, and I just say, okay, the two parts excluding the character and dash. So AM would be the first part, and Marie dash Lin would be the second part, the last part, and I would say combine those together. So yeah, result equals, I don't do plus equals, I just equals first part plus last part. Excuse me. And I think that might be it. So again, set up the result, as long as there's a hyphen. If there's no hyphen, it'll skip this, right? So yeah, so if there's no hyphen, it won't do this while part, it'll just return the username straight up. And then I get the index. I say get everything from the beginning up until one character before the index, and get everything after the index, and then combine those two parts to the new result. Okay, that's all of FRQ number 1. Have a good day.